Hello and welcome to You Beauty, the show for your face, hair and bathroom cabinet. I'm Leigh Campbell.
And I'm Kelly McCarron, and it is the last Tuesday of the month. And you know what that means. It is time for our monthly masterclass.
So we created the very special monthly masterclass so we can go deep or silly or wide on any topic we want to. Last month, in case you missed it, was Kelly and I doing IRL, our morning skincare routines. Washing our face, looking glowy at the end.
Sort of, yeah. And we will link that episode in the show notes if you missed it. But today we are diving into all things scalp and health. And why? Well, I think it's being talked about more and more as time goes on because our scalp is skin. Like it's the skin that's the same skin that's on our face, yet we treat it like hair. So we thought we probably need to do a deep dive into this because there are so many products, there's so much information, and, well, we don't really know that much.
And if, like I did, scalp, so what, who cares? Stay tuned because it's actually so fascinating. And guess what? There's someone here to tell us the actual facts. We're joined by Cassandra Hooper Whitmore, a certified trichologist, an industry veteran for over 30 years, and the founder of the Tricho Health Clinic in Sydney. So you know more about hair and scalp than probably most people in Australia. What is a trichologist? Can you start with that? Because it sounds like someone that rides a tricycle.
Great question. So basically, I'm like a paramedical, so I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but work alongside GPs and doctors and dermatologists. The great thing about trichologist is that I am trained specifically in hair loss, and issues of the scalp. So where a trichologist comes in, it's a step above a hairdresser, for example. But if you have a lot of concerns, sometimes it can take a long time to see somebody like a dermatologist. Very expensive as well. But you can wait 6, 9, 12 months to see a dermatologist. And you may or may not need to see someone. You come and see a trichologist. I can basically work out what's kind of happening for you, what could be causing it, recommend maybe some holistic approach to correcting what's going on, but then I can also point you in the direction of where you need to go next. So it take a lot of the guesswork out of you just deep diving Google or ChatGPT and trying to self-diagnose through groups on Facebook. I'm able to answer every question that you have.
And after still being a hairdresser for decades, what made you think I want to go into trichology as well?
Yeah, so I've been hairdressing 32 years and I've always done women of all ages. And I've seen, women in their 40s, in the mid-90s, and I've noticed more prevalent hair loss and scalp issues in the last 10 to 15 years to the point where I didn't really have anybody to recommend them to. And so I was spurred on by that to educate myself further and did my advanced diploma in trichology, and I love it. I love helping women who have just struggled and thrown money at problems with no results and being able to finally give them answers. There's nothing nicer than having them give me a big squeeze when they leave too, when they've finally gotten all the answers to their questions.
One of the most overlooked parts of your beauty routine just got a helping hand. Head & Shoulders has launched their first ever scalp shampoo and treatment collection, and there's a formula for every scalp concern. Itchy scalp? The 72-hour Itch Defense Shampoo's AHA complex sweeps away buildup while menthol delivers 10 times the soothing relief instantly. Oily roots stealing your good hair day? The Oil Control Shampoo's salicylic acid dissolves oil at the source, cutting production by up to 55%. Dry, tight, thirsty scalp? The Scalp Hydration Shampoo Hyaluronic Acid and Ceramides lock in moisture for up to 64% more hydration. And for the multitaskers, one leave-in treatment tackles 5 scalp issues at once with niacinamide, menthol and anti-dandruff protection built in. Cass, let's get started. We want to know, why do you think everyone is paying more attention to their scalp now than, in the past?
That's a really good question. And do you know what? I've been hairdressing 32 years. Don't look at it. But I do find that things have changed a lot in the last, I think, 10 to 15 years in my industry. And there's been a big shift in hair loss, scalp issues, and more people being aware. I guess it's like menopause and things like that. People are discussing things more. And so scalp now is becoming a bit of a talking point because people are less afraid. You know, it started with periods, then perimenopause, and now we're
Yes.
talking about hair loss, and it's great.
So it's less of a stigma, I guess, about asking and talking about if you've got an issue.
Yeah.
And do you think you're seeing more issues, or it's just that they were
Yes.
hiding them? You are seeing more issues.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
I know, okay.
Yes. So I've been hairdressing 32 years
Mm.
and I have always done women of all ages and never in my life have I seen more hair issues and scalp issues than in the last 10 to 15 years,
Why?
Fascinating.
which drove me to become a trichologist.
Do you think it's the things that we're using on our head? Do you think it's our stress levels? Do you think it's our, like, why? I mean, obviously I know that there's no answer to that.
But I guess also if people are getting more comfortable to even go, like I have had in the past, and I still get it, psoriasis, and I would have never gone to the hairdresser if I had a flare. I was too self-conscious. So maybe it's a combination of that.
I think so too. And I think as well, like, you know, a lot of people now, it's comfortable to talk about things and, you know, it's being normalized a little bit more. I think as far as like the shift for the public and, you know, just the things that I'm seeing and my staff are seeing every single day in the salon is, you know, environmental. Women now carry a load more stress. Like, you know, we are all working, we are all running households, we are doing all the things and it's just hard to nail it down. But then also with as much information that we have, are we all really eating better? Are we really looking after
God,
ourselves?
no.
Like,
Yeah.
exactly. And we have more things available to us. We should be better educated. But when people come and sit in my clinic,
That's what they come here for.
you know, they're not doing that. They're not like holistically looking after ourselves with all of the information available to
And
us.
even if we know it, life is busy. Like my scalp, I love you scalp, but sorry, you're not really high up on the
I
list.
can't see you. It's kind of like my back. It's none of my
The
business.
back, even the back of my hair.
Well, and also, like, you know, how many products do you put on your skin every day?
A lot.
A million, gazillion, badillion. And hair,
We're like once
shampoo,
a week.
conditioner,
Yeah.
dry shampoo, and that's it.
And I think we find here with a lot of the UBs and us as well, we don't want to spend a lot of money with trial and error. I might think, oh, wow, I've heard that product's amazing. But if it's $60, I'd rather spend that on my face.
On
that
something
leads-
you can see.
Yeah, exactly. So that leads me into my next question. Is our scalp aging like the skin on our face?
Well, look, that's another really good question.
Can I just jump in because you've just blown my mind. My mum had chemo like 10 years ago, so I saw her scalp for the first time, and it was so smooth. It had not one wrinkle. It had not one sunspot or anything.
But that's because, no hair, like no
No
the
sun
hair was
at
protecting
all.
it. Yeah.
Well,
but
except for,
surely
like-
it's still aging.
Well, you
Like, does
don't-
it go through menopause?
You don't have the muscles like you do on your face, right?
Oh,
so
okay,
you're
yeah.
not having like your face moves a lot because there's like hundreds of muscles
In terms
your
of
skin.
wrinkles,
Yes.
yeah.
So when it comes to your scalp, you don't have a lot of that movement. And look, your body ages at the same rate. I've heard a lot of like rubbish statements from people saying, you know, oh, your scalp ages 6 and 7 times faster than your
Yes,
skin.
I
And
thought that too.
Look, I just don't believe it. Like, you know, and it's just not true, right? Our body ages at the same rate.
Do you think that our cycles impact our scalp health?
I think that depends on person to person because, you know, a lot of women, again, we're able to talk about periods now. This is a women, you know. we're
I
all
just got mine right
women.
before we started. It was
She did.
unexpected.
Excellent.
She said,
And-
"Oh no, I'm gushing."
I did. I did. It was
Words.
not, my app did not tell me that would happen.
Wow. Can the apps do that?
Oh my gosh.
Oh yes,
Yes.
I had a
my
hysterectomy
ring.
12 years
I
ago,
live
so
by
I'm
my app. Oh, yes, I'm very mad at it.
okay. Well, look, for a lot of people, if you have really big flows, like if you lose a lot of blood and things like that, yes, you can lower your iron levels, and that can, you know, have a lot of effect on your ferritin, your iron storage levels, which helps feed a healthy scalp. So if you're doing that, or you're having long,
You just had a
extended periods,
transfusion?
Yeah, the last time I checked, my iron levels were 10, so that's probably more of a sign that my scalp is going to be grim.
Can't wait to have a look at that.
Okay. So obviously, you know, periods impact us overall in that. What about pregnancy? Because what's the whole thing with the amazing pregnancy hair?
And you
And
don't
then
need to
postpartum.
wash it as much.
Well, I don't know if that's actually true.
Well, sorry, and also it would be so person dependent. My hair was so lovely and not as oily. at
So
all.
mine was phenomenal. And I think my theory is when you're having boys. But my hair was amazing. And then I didn't have postpartum hair loss or fall for a really long time. So I thought I'd bypassed it. but generally they say your hair gets thicker. Is that a myth? And what happens in pregnancy?
Yeah, right. So the great thing about pregnancy is that, you know, we are building a human being. So our body is just doing all its best work. You know, it's building, it's growing, it's storing all the right things, it's pushing all the good things out. So hair growth just goes into actual overdrive. We also have our growth period for our hair will be extended, and our shedding phase is often paused or delayed. So you won't get as much shedding during that period, which is why you're saying like your hair feels a bit thicker.
Yes.
So you won't get that fall that you maybe get.
Well, before we get into postpartum, that was a really interesting thing you mentioned there with the growth cycle. So explain a hair growth cycle. Do we all have one? Is it all the same? How does that work?
Yeah. So on average, I guess, look, hair growth cycles are very much like a period. Say. Everyone's is different, but most people run a similar sort of course. So hair can grow for most people a 4-year period. And the way that I measure it, hair grows on average about 1 to 1.2 centimeters every 4 weeks.
Ooh.
So that's about 12 centimeters a year.
That's why I have to do my grey so much.
And also if you do, like I'm probably 2 centimeters a month.
I'm fast. It doesn't exist.
Doesn't really
Does it?
matter.
Why would it be
people
double?
feel that, but it's actually not true. There's been lots of studies done on this. On
So
millions of
everyone's the
people.
exact same.
Pretty much, like within 1 to 1.2 centimeters.
We've
every
always
4
thought that
weeks.
our hair grows faster. But, well, I need to do my regrowth so much more than other people.
And what you're probably noticing is that your growth phase is lasting longer. So maybe it feels a bit lusher, it feels a bit thicker, like it's just feeling more. Then you probably feel like it's growing more.
And after this,
faster.
you know, average 4 years, what happens?
So then it goes into a resting phase, which for some people can be like 1 month, can be 4 months. Again, depends on the person. And then you go into a falling out phase. So those strands of
God,
hair.
I had no idea.
Yeah, but this will happen at all different times, right? So it's not
Not
happening
every
with,
hair strand is on the same schedule because
Thank
you wake up
God.
one morning and all your hair's falling out.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, well.
Wow.
Yeah, so-
Okay.
Everyone's hair strands itself are on different cycles. So yeah, it'll go through a growth stage for about 4 years, which is why as well, like when you think about growing hair, you know, people's hair, if we go by the 12 centimeters a year thing, most people's hair looks really nice and solid to around sort of nipple length kind of thing. And then very rarely do you see people with hair past that length that looks really
That's
nice
blunt
and
and
full.
thick and delicious.
It's old. It's 4 years old. You've also got a lot of those strands that are starting to fall away too.
Oh, so it's not that your scalp says, okay, stop, you're long enough. It's that new ones are it's starting a new one from the top. Does that make sense?
What's falling out?
Yeah, exactly. So I was thinking, like,
And then
why
you're
does it
getting
just
new hair
stop
coming
there?
through.
But it doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
That makes so
Wow.
much sense.
Yeah.
I've
Doesn't it?
never heard anyone talk about that before.
I thought the growth cycles were much more frequent, but maybe that's eyebrows or eyelashes. Are they different?
Eyebrows and eyelashes are like 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do want to quickly ask you, I'll probably just explain how people at home can work out their hair type if they don't know, not thick or thin, but there's 4 types, is that right? Straight, then,
Wavy,
yep,
then curly,
yep.
and coily.
And and are they influenced by the scalp at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's generally the shape of the follicle itself. And it's like, imagine like, you know when you're wrapping presents and you used to use scissors and you'd curl the ribbons?
Yes.
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
Probably
Oh.
the easiest way to explain
So
it.
when you have a look at someone's scalp, so even if Leigh's hair was straight, if you have a look at her scalp, can you tell what her actual hair type is?
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
But it will, I mean, I guess tell the hair to grow a certain way.
Exactly.
And then if we have coily versus straight, do we treat our hair and our scalp differently?
Hair, yes. Scalp, not so much.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter.
Okay, fascinating.
That's so interesting. Yeah, because if someone has coily hair, well, I know that my girlfriend that has coily hair, it takes her like an hour to wash her hair.
Yeah, and look, curly hair, I don't know, have you seen a piece of hair close up?
I actually have. I've
Yeah.
seen them very close up.
What do you mean close up?
So like under a really big
We're gonna
microscope.
do that later.
Yeah, and it's like basically like a piece of rope with fish scales on it, right? And so
The
generally,
shaft.
yeah, the shaft, yeah. But these fish scales generally lie pretty closed and they shut down. So get all sciencey. Shampoo opens those cuticles, they're called, those fish scales, and conditioner closes them. But if the hair's very bendy,
This is so interesting.
yeah, if the hair's very bendy, those fish scales don't lie as flat as possible, which is why very curly hair
It's like
can be a
spaghetti
bit knottier.
versus-
They catch against each other like pieces of Velcro. It can get pretty knotty. So that's why also you want to condition
This
your
is
hair.
explaining so much.
Before we just completely derail the life stages part, tell me about postpartum. My theory is, you've had the baby, evolutionary. The man's like, great, I made a baby. And then you just, cry and your hair falls out, amongst other things. Is that pretty much it?
Pretty much it. You just nailed it.
Okay, but why?
Again, remember we were talking about like how we are building and growing and storing all the things? We don't need that anymore.
Okay.
So postpartum hair loss is a real thing?
100%.
How long does it last for?
Normally 6 to 9 months. So a lot of people will find that something triggers it. Sometimes it's just having the baby. Sometimes it is because the hormones, because it's hormone related. Sometimes certain hormone levels stay quite high while they're breastfeeding. And then once they stop breastfeeding, they'll have that big shed. So that's also in our world called telogen effluvium, when you lose a lot of hair at one time. It's nearly like, like a dandelion. When you pick up a dandelion, you blow it and it goes like that.
Feels like that.
That's what happens.
It feels like that. Okay. So it's a natural part of the process 100%. Of being a mother. Okay.
Yeah.
And it won't last forever.
No.
Okay.
And that's why you're looking at this beautiful, cute baby, because you're feeling like a troll, but it sort of just keeps you
just
feeling
got
good.
the little
Yeah.
bin chickens.
And in fact,
flying
mine
around.
was so bad that I actually had to shave and undercut, because the sides of my hair here, after I stopped breastfeeding, was shiny, bald, like my baby's bum.
Oh,
that
wow.
shiny. Yeah.
Because
all
we
the
hear
hair
a
fell
lot,
out.
and I experienced it. I don't know about you, Kel, but especially here, and then also you doing a mum bun, and I know that pulling it tight causes breakage. But is it a particular part of the scalp and hair that it happens to, or do you just notice it because it's at your
It's what
eyesight?
we'd call like a diffuse hair loss. So because it's like a shock, because the hormones have changed, you generally will just lose like hair evenly pretty much all over. But
I
some
guess
people
we
would
notice it because we look at ourselves.
Exactly. And you're seeing it more in people notice hair loss mostly when they're looking down in the mirror, because you can see all the way back here. And then obviously at the sides, like you say, when you're pulling your hair back.
And actually, because I'm thinking whenever I go through hair loss, like I notice it, I always notice it most here, but I would think that that's almost a little bit thinner in general just there. Like where my horns would be if I had horns.
Like above the temple.
I don't know why
kind of
that's
each
where I
side.
went.
I mean, your horn location could vary as well.
That's true.
Kind of the temples, but a bit further up.
Yes.
Where,
Yeah.
everyone hopefully knows what we mean by then, but maybe Kelly will draw
Maybe
a
I will
diagram for
do
those
my
that,
little horns
who
if you're
are-
listening and not watching.
Okay, let's talk about perimenopause and menopause, because we're keeping on this lifespan phases. What happens then?
So menopause, again, it's hormones, right? Like hormones are shifting, things are changing, and this is a really big time for women. And the thing that I'm finding is that because perimenopause now, remember we always just used to talk about menopause, and now people are like, wait, there's this whole thing called perimenopause, and wait, it can go for like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years before menopause. So it's a really interesting time. So during this time, you're having irregular periods, things are changing, your ovaries are doing weird things or doing nothing. And what's happening is that that's all going through your body, right? In normal speak, that's what's happening. So it's all going through your body. So during the time that your hormones are changing, you have these little things in your body called free testosterone, say. And generally your estrogen levels keep a cap on that. But as that sort of starts fluctuating, imagine these little teeny tiny little testosterone things now are released into your body. They change into these little molecules, I guess, called DHT. You've probably heard of that. It's called dihydrotestosterone. And if you have a sensitivity to DHT, they attach themselves through the top part of your head and essentially strangle the follicle. So any nutrients and any goodness that you're giving to your body is not being allowed to come through.
Right.
So you do
They're
get...
not very nice.
They're not very nice. They're mean guys.
Yeah.
And
Bullies.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of peri. There's, it's not just the hair, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So what happens then is you generally get... So when we talk about widening of the part and that sort of thing, it's because those follicles are being essentially starved. So the way I like to say is this is our garden. And when you're not feeding the garden properly and fertilizing it and looking after it, your plants start to get weaker. So you'll get a miniaturization of the follicles, which in turn creates a miniaturization of the hair. So you get...
What does that term mean in regards to hair? Like, I just pictured a plant going,
Yeah.
Wilting.
a little
Nailed it.
wilting.
Nailed it. Yeah, very
But
sad,
how can
happy,
we
unhappy
not
plant.
make that happen? Like,
Well, I'm assuming
Good
that's what
question.
happens in peri, but in general life, so, healthy diet and lifestyle does impact our actual strands.
100%. Yeah, because if you are low in certain things. So the big things for trichologists and hair is B12, iron storage, and vitamin D. They're our main three that we look at. Then if they're normal and other things are looking suspicious and you're suffering from hair loss and other issues, then we dive a bit deeper into things. But there are three main things that we look at.
Interesting.
But if you're not eating well and looking after yourself, you start getting that miniaturization as well. So
and it will affect your actual strands. That's
100%.
blown my mind.
Okay, so we're going to get into some more questions later because we still have so many. But before the break, we actually asked the You Beauty Facebook community that you would be joining us today. And we got so many DMs and questions come through. So we pulled out just a few that sort of like tied in a lot of the questions to ask.
I'm going to start. The lovely Gemma said, I wash my hair every night and it's oily by lunchtime. What am I doing wrong?
Oh, good question. There's a couple of things we'd want to deep dive here is if she's going to bed with it wet. That's a big one.
Why would
though?
that? Yeah, why would that impact the oil?
And why is it bad in general?
Yeah. It's just like, it's not good, right?
Makes it look awful the next day.
I hope no one's eaten, but like hair and scalp can be full of yeast. And when you leave that damp, I mean, imagine leaving other areas of your body damp, like for 8 hours. And
what's happening there in the dampness?
a lot of like yeasty goodness. So things are growing, blooming, yeast blooms.
Can you get thrush of the scalp?
It doesn't sound nice, but why is that bad?
Because it can lead to over oil production.
Okay.
It can lead to things like irritation of the scalp. You can get folliculitis, so you can get infections within the hair follicles. It's smelly.
And your hair is weaker when it's damp, I guess. So
Yeah,
if you've gone to bed and you're throwing your head around and you can have breakage.
That's absolutely true.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So do you think maybe if she dried her hair before bed, if she's a night shower, the oil might be slightly better?
Yes, and another thing that she could do too is ensure that she's using a product that's for oilier hair. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean an oily shampoo. I have extremely oily hair, so I like a volumizing shampoo because I know a volumizing shampoo is going to be a little bit more cleansing, it's going to pull more oil off the hair, and it's going to allow me to stay a little bit less oily. But again, you guys are masters of the face and skin. Skin is oily for some people. Some people have oilier face than their hair. Like, oilier face than other people.
Yes.
And,
But if you've got a combo or oily skin type, it's likely your scalp is the same.
Exactly,
it's all
100%.
the one area.
And like just because, Sally from down the road can leave her hair a week because she doesn't get oily doesn't mean that you have the wrong scalp type because you can't get away with it for that long.
Yeah.
Okay, let's blow your mind.
Yes.
Hairdressers tell people to leave shampooing your hair as long as possible. I've been a hairdresser for 32 years. It's something that I was always trained. Don't shampoo your hair. Twice a week is more than enough.
Because why was it considered bad?
Because they're fading your colours.
Oh.
So if you're having a lovely blonde done and they've put a lovely gloss toner over your hair, every time you shampoo it, a lot of those glosses will last you about 20 shampoos.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're flogging your hair and shampooing it like every day or every second day, that can pull your colour out, which can cause the hairdresser problems. But as a trichologist, we are more positioned to be like, okay, I want you shampooing your hair max like every second day. Like don't leave it longer.
Well, yeah, that makes sense actually because now that we're thinking about the scalp as well,
Yeast.
Imagine not washing your face for 2 days or 3 days.
Other bits.
Well, exactly.
I have more questions about that later. But, Kel, what's the next question?
Well, Selena has asked, I know we keep trying to hijack the Ubies with our own questions. When it comes to hair brushing, what are the best brushes and combs for different hair types?
Ooh.
So are bristles good? Is metal good? Does it matter if it's ball bristle? Can it be plastic?
Is there a difference between a $20 brush and a $180 brush?
Oh, that's such a good question.
I have 80 brushes here if you'd like me to show you later.
Yes, I know. Look, I'm one of these people where I actually don't think that brushes should really just be used for blow drying. I think if you're detangling hair, the best way to do it is in the shower with conditioner in there with a wide tooth comb, or what we call a hybrid brush. So it's a brush that has really quite flexible bristles, so it's not doing any real severe tugging on the hair, and you use it in the shower when you've got conditioner in your hair, get out, towel dry it really well, and then detangle it again. On the days that you're not shampooing it, say for example you have very curly hair, you might give it a mist down with like a detangler or a diluted detangler and then give it another comb through. But as far as brushes go, look, bristles are great. little tines are great, but again, it depends on what you're doing around styling it. Because essentially for brushing, I wouldn't really be brushing your hair. And it comes from our parents,
Why?
right? Because when we were kids, your mum used to say, go and brush your hair.
But why aren't we brushing it? Because it's then, making breakage. Is it distributing oil?
I have to brush my hair every morning and night. Otherwise, it's so naughty.
When is it fuzzy?
All the time?
After you brush it.
No, all the
No,
So-
she's right.
So what you're doing, your hair wants to sit as one, whether that's straight or whether it has a wave or whether it has a bit of movement to it. The second you run that brush through it, especially on dry hair, you're making it sit on top of itself. So every single person that comes into our salon will say, my hair's really frizzy. And you go, really? When? And they go, after I brush it. And you're like, mm-hmm.
But it feels so good, and the Brady Bunch did it.
Mm-hmm.
Marsha.
Our mothers ruined it.
Because now I'm like, if I did that properly with my conditioner and then maybe I wouldn't need to be so tangly. Yeah.
Exactly.
And the curly girl method, which we'll also ask about later, is a lot about less intervention.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's less about the brush
Wow.
and more about the frequency.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, your brushes should really be selected as per your styling needs. So
Okay.
if you are smoothing it, bigger brushes. If
Okay.
you want more volume, smaller brushes.
But don't just brush your hair for 10 minutes before bed, big for fun.
Because you like the feeling of it or think that you need. Oh my God. Okay. It's very rare that we are speechless.
Finally, before we go to a break, is there a huge difference in buying salon brand hair products compared to those purchased in supermarkets and pharmacies?
Okay. As a hairdresser, we were always taught professional only. But one thing I've learned since becoming a trichologist, not necessarily true. There are some pretty good products available to people out there that, aren't super expensive. And in fact, sometimes the really expensive ones are like clothes. You're buying the brand name, to be honest with you. And I just really don't think that spending more, there's ingredients that you should avoid.
Okay.
So things like non-water soluble silicons.
That's a good definition because we hear silicone is bad, but there's a caveat.
And especially when it comes to shampoo and conditioner, as long as you're choosing something that's specific for your hair type
Okay.
and your goals, then
So less about whether you bought it at the salon or at the supermarket, less about really expensive and really cheap, just the individual product and what's in it.
and I'm going to be crucified for that, I know, but it's
No, I think that's what people want to hear as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's more dependent on the product than the
and
brand
there's
or
good
where
and
you
bad
go.
at
Yeah.
every price range.
And look, to be honest, again, talking from the hairdresser point of view, the issue is your heat styling and the way that you do it. That's going to cause you more damage. And again, the longer you leave it between shampoos is what's going to cause you the damage on your scalp and stuff as well.
Well, after the break, we are going to get up close and personal to our scalps. And, oh dear, Cass might have some things to say about how grotty my scalp and hair is. Okay, so the moment of truth is here. If you're watching, Cass has a very interesting looking machine here. And if you're listening, well, I suggest you just head over to Apple Podcasts or YouTube because things are about to get potentially a little bit gross. Who knows? Cass, what is this machine? What do you use it for? How often do you use it? And what are you looking for?
Awesome. So this is a Trichoscope, and it is basically a microscope, a little handheld microscope, and it comes in a few different magnifications. So generally I use like a 50 times magnification. Yeah, which can get pretty real. And as part of trichology, it is like our go-to tool because I actually call it's like my fortune telling machine, because even if you are doing things with your scalp, like eating better or you've suffered hair loss or whatever, I can kind of see what's going to be happening that you're not seeing yet for like the next sort of 3 months or so. So I can see things long before you'll be
You're
able to see them.
psychic.
I am a psychic.
And if you have an ongoing client, I guess you can see the progress or what's happening if you're documenting it over time.
Exactly.
It's the diary of your scalp.
Yeah, and it's a really good way, especially if somebody's like you were saying before, postpartum, perimenopause, menopause, we're adjusting things to help them get rid of whatever they're dealing with. We can track that.
So if
visually.
Leigh's going to go bald in 3 months, you'll be able to see.
We'll be able to see the start of something for sure.
Because, it just happens that quickly. All right. So, Cass, why don't I go first? You can take very close-up photos of my scalp and Kel and I will talk through what we're doing.
You're so brave.
So you're going to do my close-up photos, but would you have asked people about their hair type or what they think their scalp is like, oily, you know?
Yeah.
Or can you tell everything from this machine?
Well, generally, like all that sort of stuff would be asked first. So we ask about how often they shampoo, what are they itchy, is there any sort of things that they're feeling, they're worried about, any heat. Some people have very sensitive scalps.
Heat.
And,
I sweat a lot and I'm a hot-headed, sweaty head.
Yeah. But there's also like really bad forms of hair loss that generate, like it feels hot and sensitive and very itchy
that sounds
as well.
painful.
Okay.
Yeah, so if they're getting that, I can look closer and look for things like inflammation and stuff like a little bit more sinister things.
Yeah,
so
sure.
talking about that, what do you think that I will see?
Well, I washed my hair this morning, even though I coloured my roots yesterday because I was going to see you. There's some dry shampoo in there. Look, I am very classically combo. I've always had a very oily scalp, oily hair. I have relatively fine hair, but a lot of it. I used to have a lot more, although it felt that way. I don't know if that's a thing. Lately, with perimenopause and some grief and some stress, things have changed epically. And even I didn't know really what was going on. I've been told that prolonged stress and lack of sleep can impact your skin and your hair goes what's called gummy, like it feels squishy. And that's because of a different type of sebum. Cass, I don't know what you're going to see. I'm scared. I'm excited. But my hair feels good today, so...
Just today?
It looks nice.
Oh, yeah, just today. I did it extra special for you. Kelly has got her hair back in a cool braid thing, but it makes me think she hasn't washed it.
And as Cass will be able to see, I am a natural blonde. It is so light naturally. I don't ever colour it. I don't ever do any heat styling or anything bad. Listen, I don't know what you'll see, but I mean, I assume that there'll be a bit more build up than Leigh because I haven't washed it and I've been to the gym a few times and played netball, so I've used a lot of dry shampoo. Because
for how many days?
Like 4 or 5. It's not that bad. I hate washing my hair so much. I hate it.
I have to wash my hair every day. I wash my hair 5 times a week because there's 2 days where I don't really care. Maybe in Peri it's a little bit less oily, but we're very opposite.
Is it that you don't like washing your hair, or is it that you don't like the styling of your hair, or you just don't like the whole thing?
Actually, yeah, sorry. I love washing my hair.
Yeah.
I hate it being wet and I hate then blow drying it because even though it's like I've got really good hair dryer, but even though it's fine, there's a lot of it and it takes so long and it's just an irritating thing to have to do. I'm very lazy.
So it's a time thing.
It's a time thing.
And I think that's like most people. Most people love the feeling of like clean skin, clean sheets, clean hair.
But we don't want to.
It's just like the whole process is just.
But then I've learnt at far too late of an age that I have to blow dry it, else because when I dry it naturally, even if I wash it in the morning, it looks very fluffy because it is naturally quite curly.
And you've been brushing it.
And I brush it, which I've also learnt.
The moment of truth. Shall you scan me?
Yes.
Does it matter where you scan?
We'll start on the top of your head.
Oh, we do more than one.
But then we can do like some tricky ends bits to see like how, if you are having regular haircuts or if you're not, and how nasty those ends are.
All right.
And how old and tired they are.
Let's do it. It looks like a computer with like a kid's thermometer thing. I'm done now. Cass is going to sit down. Kelly's got her eyes shut. And it's so like they're like spread apart.
And it looks like scalps look so interesting and
Kelly,
a bit strange.
you can open your eyes now.
Oh!
What part of my hair did you head did you scan then?
So this is the very top of your head. So it's right on your part line.
Okay.
About sort of 3 centimeters from the front of your hairline.
The hairs do look quite far apart on the scalp, but I've seen like with different scalps, it always kind of looks like that to me. But it looks like it almost looks like, is that dye or scabs or gunk?
Excuse me, Kelly, can you please let the expert speak? That might be a lovely photo. Her face says no, but please stop talking. Let's hear from the expert.
Partially a little bit of leftover colour. And it's also partially probably what we'd call follicular inflammation.
Like scabby pus around the hair follicles. But that could also be the hair dye, as Cass was saying.
Explain that, please.
So that's actually what we call hair loss in action.
Please explain, Cass.
Yeah, so part of it, you did say you popped a colour in yesterday or the day before.
Yesterday.
Right? Yeah, so generally, and because you're colouring it so dark, you will see a little bit of staining if it hasn't been cleansed out, even though you did shampoo it again this morning. There can be a little bit of
yesterday I
staining.
just rinsed and conditioned because that's what the box says to do, but I did shampoo this morning.
Okay, cool. But this area around the follicle here where it's like a little bit of discoloration, you can see the scalp sort of nice quite white, and then around the bottom of the follicle here it's a little bit of a darker browny kind of colour.
It looks like a teeny tiny nipple around my hair.
So remember how we spoke before about the follicles being starved? That's kind of what that is. Like that can cause that. So inflammation can be caused by lower than ideal blood levels of
And
like
that
your
it
vitamin D.
like absolutely marries to where I'm at right now. Like I've had the blood test and all that, so that makes sense.
Stress as well is a really big flarer of inflammation.
Is sleep important for your scalp?
Sleep is massively important. If you have known autoimmune issues as well, I mean, you're just a box ticker, really, as far as I'm concerned when it comes to inflammation.
What does that mean? Everything that's happening in my life at the moment
Yes.
is mirrored on my scalp
Yes.
as per the photo.
Yes.
Isn't that so interesting? Yet you look at you and you look like the picture of
perfect?
health and perfection.
Well, I'm good at doing my hair, but so it looks good, but I know personally it's not at a great place.
And I didn't believe you. I was like, because she goes, oh, my hair's gummy or whatnot. And I'm like, oh, you look great. But
Can I ask, on a hair strand or shaft there, see those kind of like white bits? What is that?
That would either be dry shampoo. That looks like dry shampoo.
Okay, good.
But you know what's interesting though, and this will blow your mind a little bit. So see how generally like the hair strands are for you different shapes and sizes. Like you have these nice big fat chubby ones.
I like that one.
We love fat chubby hair strands. So if you have lots of these, generally they're being well fed, your garden is growing well, all the things are happening. You also have what we call clustering, which is where you've got, see this one follicle and there's multiple hairs coming out of them?
Yes.
When you talk about your hair being fine but having a lot of it, that's the pure example of that. It's calling you a truth teller. You're telling the truth because you have multiple hairs coming out of one follicle, which is ideal.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
However, you have, see these little teeny tiny skinny ones?
I was going, like there's a main
Like a
hair
tree.
and then there's like a teeny baby.
trees and twigs.
Yeah, there's a twig popping out of the same follicle.
Yeah, so that can be, and again, without seeing blood tests and all those sort of things,
Of course.
it could be a nutritional influence. It could be your perimeno. It can be stress. It can be a whole host of things. You're probably not seeing a lot of difference as much as what other people would when you look in the mirror because you have that buffer of that clustering.
Okay, so because
you have,
my naturally a clustering scalp hair type, but I am personally noticing a massive difference in just how my hair feels, how it styles. Yeah, it's not in a good place at the moment.
Exactly.
And that makes sense.
And this sort of thing can happen quite slowly too. So sometimes like when people come and see me, they might have been feeling their hair's thinner, the part's getting a little bit wider, the ponytail's getting a little bit smaller. How long has that been happening for? Oh, well, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. And then when we go into it and we have a look, I can see that there's a lot of that miniaturization happening.
Okay.
The great thing about hair is that things happen very slowly. So if you are suffering from that sort of stuff, it takes a long time. But on the flip side, it takes a long time for it to recover as well.
That's what I was going to ask. Should someone, you've seen someone like me and then they think, okay, I'm going to eat better and generally, do what I can in my control, because obviously you can't just go and eat an apple and you've got long, luscious locks. It takes a while for that to kind of hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, about 3 to 6 months generally.
Okay.
And also, again, because of the hair cycle, right? We spoke before about that.
Sure.
So when the hair's in the falling out stage, yes, like if you suddenly start doing all the good things, it will move back into the growing phase.
Yeah.
But it's not going to disrupt the cycle and make it all happen faster.
Right.
And look, let's be clear, there's nothing on this planet that's going to make hair grow faster, which is another reason why I became a trichologist, because there are snake oil salesmen everywhere.
Oh, my, the people that
Such
are
a
like,
good-
oh, this product. And it's like, you just put hair extensions in.
So you were mentioning that you can take, different areas of the scalp and look at them in a grid and it'll tell you stuff. Should we do that? Let's do that before we move on to Kelly.
Yeah, so this is one way that we look for what we call, I guess, female pattern hair loss and genetic hair loss. quite common when your hormones start fluctuating and changing.
Okay. Can you tell us a bit about that before you look for it for me? What is female pattern hair loss? Is it hereditary? What's it about?
Yeah, good. So it's generally like we were discussing before about how once your estrogen levels start dropping, they release like the cap or the cover, I guess you could call it, on free testosterone, starts roaming around your body and turns into a thing called dihydrotestosterone, attaches to the follicles through the top of your head and essentially strangles them. So that's when you get those sort of skinnier hairs there. So they create a barrier to the feed and
Hence
food.
the hair loss because it can't grow. And is that different to going balding?
That's on the way.
Okay, so it's on the way to that.
So that's what happens. So
Okay.
that DHT sensitivity never happens through the back of the head. So that's why when you see men who are balding, they don't lose their hair through the back of the head. So women are the
They
same.
have that row.
Exactly. So generally with women, that's how we can tell if your hair loss is a hormonal hair loss, is
Right.
when we check the back of your head. You want to see these guys, how you've got your finer pits and then your big fat chubby guys.
Yep.
What you ideally would want to see is those big fat chubby guys all over the head.
Right. Okay. Okay, so let's take my other photos and see what picture it paints.
I'm going to have a look this time while it happens.
You can watch, Kel.
If you want to see what's happening right now, because this probably really isn't translating well to audio, make sure you jump on either YouTube or Apple Podcasts where you can watch the entire episode. And we just had Cass moving her little magic wand, or the Doppler, as I keep calling it, around Leigh's scalp. So we now have 4 photos.
And Cass just sat back down, but before she did, she fixed the back of my hair so nicely just to make sure it still looks good.
Girls got to look after girls.
Cass, there's 4 photos of my scalp, various places. What does this tell you? Without having done blood tests, real consultation, what does that tell you?
So talking about like your diet and things like that before, and stress and all the rest of it.
She's cushioning the blow, guys.
So I've taken one of front and center, similar to what I took before.
What area is this here? This top?
This is about a centimetre from the top of your hairline, straight down your part.
Yep.
And then the next one's around your temple.
Yep.
Yep. And then this one is on your crown. And then this other one is at the back of your head.
Okay.
So you're not showing a huge amount of signs of hormonal hair loss because you have those nice big fat chubby strands up there through the top. So if you were suffering from a hormonal hair loss, you would generally see those much finer miniaturized hairs through there.
Okay.
But what I am seeing is remember how we spoke about those little teeny tiny skinny starved ones?
Yes.
You've got those sort of throughout your head.
So that could lead to more hair loss later.
It can be hair loss in action.
Okay.
Caused by stress, caused by diet.
Lack of
and,
sleep.
Yeah, and lower levels of the desired, vitamins and minerals that we need in our diet.
Yeah. Which we don't just run and buy. We go and get a blood test and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely. But hair is like one of the first symptoms of anything, to be honest, in your body, because the body is an amazing thing. And what it does is it preserves itself 100% of the time. So if you have low vitamin B12 levels or low vitamin D, it's not going to go, well, I need to keep powering this hair and scalp growth.
Yeah, my hair's not that important to my
No.
survival.
It's going to be looking after your circulation and your heart and your brain and your lungs and everything else, which is why those levels are better closely inspected by a trichologist.
As early as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's do Kelly's. Okay, so Kel and I have swapped. She's in the hot seat. I am excited. We are doing the first photo like we did for me, which is kind of at the top, a few centimetres into the hairline. Where is your natural part, Kel?
I've got a cowlick.
Yeah, I've got one at my crown. So you do, like you just let it do what it wants?
No, I force it into a middle part if I'm wearing my hair down.
Okay.
Or I force it.
What happens when you just get out of the shower and let it dry naturally? Where does it fall?
I don't know.
Okay, very good. All right, Cass, what can you tell from Kelly's first photo? Whoa, her scalp looks like it's got its period at one spot.
What?
Half of her scalp is bright red.
And it's filthy.
Is it?
She's filthy.
Is her scalp filthy?
Well, yeah, her hair, like you can see all this flaky white stuff. That is
I
all of
can't
her
see.
dry shampoo.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not good.
The trichologist said you're dirty.
It's filthy.
Top right of this photo, like a quarter of the photo, it looks really red at the scalp.
Yeah, that could be because she's either scratched it or she's...
Was it just there?
Yeah.
I was scratching.
Yeah.
So that's irritated, like bit of blood.
Well, no, yeah, it's just blood that's been brought up to the surface of the scalp.
Okay.
I'm
But
an
again-
itchy, I'm an itchy bitch. I'm constantly scratching.
Also-
Also, you
Perimenopause.
haven't washed. You haven't.
Oh no,
she's
it's
only
literally been my
36.
entire life. I'm
You haven't
always
washed
itchy.
for 4 days, and that could cause itchiness of the scalp.
Oh, can I tell you, the thing that causes itchiness the most is oil production.
Oh,
So a lot of people think, oh, I've got nits or I've got like dandruff or I've got something else. Oil, your hair, actually your sebaceous glands opening and secreting oil is the most itchiest thing that can happen.
Wow.
So a lot of
and
the
then you
time-
scratch yourself and you bleed.
Oh, I don't actually think I'm bleeding.
She's not bleeding.
No,
She just
yeah.
has blood
But
flow
I
brought
do.
to the surface.
Ever since I was a little kid, I scratch myself so much I bruise often. It's weird. Okay, so it's filthy.
Yeah.
Tell
Well,
us
we knew
more.
that. Yeah, tell
us
me more.
You have like a huge amount of clustering. So you have lots of follicles here that have multiple hairs coming out of them, which is really good.
So like thin, fine hair, but lots of it.
Yeah, lots of it. You have very few miniaturized strands. So there's a couple, like on a screen this size with this much hair on there, I would, it would not be uncommon to see 10 or 15 skinnier hairs, but you probably only have like about 3 or 4. Like they're all pretty chubby. So good job.
Okay.
Congratulations on your
Yeah.
chubby
Oh my god.
hair.
Yeah, if you got it cleaned, I mean, you get a gold star.
Kel,
So
you-
do I actually? Are you? Am I healthy?
Yeah, like that's pretty good.
Kel, you talk a lot about your dry skin. You haven't washed your hair for a lot of the time, but would you normally say your scalp is dry or you don't know?
Funnily enough, my hair is definitely. My scalp is way oilier than my body skin.
Interesting you say that though, but you cleanse your skin every day.
Yes,
Cass,
exactly.
we think we have fine hair, so we might feel like our hair is oilier. Is it true that if you do have fine hair, your hair is oilier, or is it just that there's not as much hair to disguise the oil, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think that's true. I don't think that finer hair is oilier, thicker hair is not oilier. I think it's the same as like your oily mantle in your skin, like people's just produce different things. I think it's more exposed when it's finer.
Sure.
And generally when it's finer, a lot of people touch their hair a bit more, which again, you're then combining oils from your hands onto your skin.
Sure. Yeah. So if you've got a huge, beautiful head of hair that's really thick, I guess the oil's more hidden under all of that and more places to just hang out.
It's the same, like, do you feel when you have your hair straight or when you have it waved, what lasts you longer?
Wave.
Same.
Because
I've
it's not sitting on the oil.
agreed. And you also, like, you don't generally run your hands through your hair when your hair's got a wave or a curl through it. But when it's straight, you do tend to, like, sort of touch it a bit more.
Yes, because you put in the effort, it's looking good, don't touch.
Yeah. So that's flaky scalp. That is like that.
Oh, that's dead skin.
Yeah, people would probably look at that if that was on your scalp and you didn't have a scope, obviously. A lot of people would call that dandruff. I would call it possibly leftover product, possibly just, like, because we shed, right? So it's your skin coming away. And that's the other thing. Like, a lot of people think that they have dandruff when they actually don't. It can be that they've left product in their hair. They're not shampooing it correctly. A lot of people using anti-dandruff shampoos that shouldn't be. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's dandruff. You haven't shampooed your hair for 4 days.
Yeah.
And you're full of dry shampoo.
You're disgusting, but
I
have great
am.
hair. I'm clean, but I'm on the path to.
But we are ahead of it. But maybe let's have a look at the other areas like we did with you. We don't know if the rest of the scalp will be in the same nick.
So can I ask a question then? So when you do shampoo it, what does that look like? Talk me through it.
Oh, to be fair, when it's this foul, I will spend time. I'll probably use a scalp scrub, my favorite scalp scrub, to really just get in there and clean it properly. I'll give myself a proper head massage when I'm doing it. I'll also do a second shampoo to get all of the product built up out as well. And then I would put a treatment in.
Yeah.
Shampooing twice.
Yeah.
Always?
100%.
Great. Oh my God, good. I
Some
thought
people
so.
think it's a waste of product, but I'm like,
No.
it makes sense.
So think about it like this, right? Imagine you've just cooked, something greasy in a pan and you're going to hand wash your pan because you've bought expensive scan pans or whatever. You put a bit of detergent in there. You scrub it with a brush. You don't get lather, right? Because that oil is being absorbed by the detergent and it's lifting and removing all of that.
Yeah.
Then if you rinse it out and you pop a little bit more in, you start to get bubbles.
Then it can really
it's
clean because it's
cleaned.
removed the oil. Now it's cleaning the
Exactly.
product.
So my
Okay.
thing is like your first shampoo will lift all the gunk and it attaches. So shampoo has this the sulfurants, the cleaners in there. They have two ends. One of it attaches to dirt and oil and the other one attaches to water. So it will grab all the oil and everything, and then when you rinse it out, you also make sure that you do rinse it out really well. A lot of people think, oh, well, I'm doing a second shampoo, I won't be too thorough.
Well, my first shampoo, I do that. I go, oh, that'll do.
No, rinse it out as well as you can. Like imagine it, because you're lifting all that nastiness
Yeah.
out and getting rid of it, and then go in with your second one. And you want to be able to feel your fingertips on your scalp too. If you also have thicker hair, it doesn't hurt to sort of part your hair as well, put your head down and get the water right in there, open all that up behind your ears and everything.
So you said surfactants, the cleaning agents, have two ends, but are they both the first wash going for the oil, or is one end doing oil and one end is doing
Water.
wow?
Yeah.
Like
I didn't know my shampoo was so clever.
I'm
Very
picturing
busy.
like one of those two-ended screwdrivers, and they're like, okay, I'll do this, you do that.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh,
Yeah, but like one's job is to attach all the oil and get all the oil and everything, and another one like attaches to the water, and that's how it pulls out of the hair and it comes away. So
Double
yeah.
shampoo, same shampoo, both okay?
Oh yeah, look, and sometimes as well, if you're using a tinted shampoo, like now you can get, obviously
Purple.
blonde shampoo, you can get purple, you can also get reds, you can get pinks, you can get all the different colors.
I do it sometimes between colours. I do
Yeah.
a clarifying shampoo, but then I'll do the like shade depositing just for a tiny bit of grey.
That's best practice. Yeah, that's what you want to do, because of course shampoo's designed to cleanse, so you don't want to use anything that's adding color or adding first.
Yes.
Because then if you repeat with the second shampoo, it's going to pull out all that
Pull it back
goodness you're
out.
adding.
Okay, let's do Kel and then we have way more questions. I'm desperate to know. Okay, so now Kel is getting her full scan. That one was on the other side. That one was very close. The one near the temple is where Kelly mentioned before that you might get where you notice hair loss. Because Kelly and I both wear our hair in a mum bun at home.
I wear it all the time off.
Me too, because I can't concentrate if my hair's out, which is strange. Okay, Cass, what are you seeing with the 4 photos all together?
Filthy.
Yeah, so she's pretty... How old are you, Kel?
37.
Such a baby. So Kel's not showing really any signs of what we'd call your hormonal hair loss, because the hair looks pretty the same on all the screens. So where we've checked the front, the temple, the crown and the back, the density is pretty the same. You're also probably pretty healthy. Like I reckon like if we looked at your blood tests, they would be pretty okay, because you don't seem to have a lot of miniaturization. Have you noticed anything in the last few years? Like, do you feel like your hair's finer, or it's just pretty much the same?
It's the same.
Yeah. You're pretty stock standard as far as what good looks like.
Like, does that look like 37-year-old hair? Is that
Yeah.
where you are? Okay.
Yeah.
You haven't hit
Dirty.
the Perry train yet.
Dirty.
Needs
Dirty.
to wash her hair, but it doesn't look like you've gone into haywire like me.
No.
After the break, we're going to find out if a couple of hair myths are true or false. And we've got your ultimate cheat sheet, because we know that we've had a lot of information in this episode. So we'll kind of like try to wrap things up nicely. Give you a TLDR, if you will. Okay, it's time to solve some hair and scalp myths. I have got a paddle. It has a red side and a blue side. So I'm going to...
Blue, green for yes.
Oh, my very word. My brain is still thinking about my follicles. I'm going to hand it over to Cass, and Leigh and I are going to quick fire some common myths or...
And the lovely Cass can only say yes or no. All right, are we ready? True or false? Shampooing every day will cause hair loss.
False.
That means true.
False.
Red, false.
You should only wash your hair once a week.
False.
Greasy hair is a sign of an unhealthy scalp.
False.
So can you wash your hair daily?
Yes.
It's best to double shampoo.
Yes.
Washing your hair every day makes it produce more oil.
False.
Supplements from the supermarket can help with hair growth.
Big fat false.
An unhealthy scalp affects your hair growth.
True.
Product build-up can suffocate your follicles.
False.
You can train your hair to be less oily.
False.
Silicons in your products are very bad.
False.
Plucking grey hairs makes them grow back thicker.
False.
Hair growth scalp serums actually work.
False.
Scalp exfoliators could be beneficial.
True.
Rosemary oil works for hair growth.
Oh,
Look.
Complicated.
I thought that was going to be a big fat false.
There have been a couple of studies, but they were very, very, very small studies, and it didn't give a great outcome.
And you'd have to use it for 20 years.
And the outcome could have been there anyway had they not used it.
LED hair masks could be worth the investment.
Yes. The right ones.
Dandruff is caused by not washing your hair enough.
Not necessarily.
The term salon quality, is that a real clarification?
Yes. However, things should be prescribed for you.
All right, we've got some final quick questions. What is the difference between dry scalp and dandruff? Bow, bow, bow.
Good question. Basically, the lack of oil can be just dry scalp. Dandruff can be flaky scalp, can be flaky products. Depends on how you call it, really.
What is dandruff?
Dandruff can be like just your skin flaking, like regeneration, right? So it's normal. Some people have less, some people have more, some people clear it much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
What causes it though? Like that, could it be autoimmune?
Some people are more susceptible. Yeah.
There you go.
So some people will never, ever, ever have it.
Do we need to worry about UV affecting our scalp and our hair?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like especially things like basal cell carcinoma, for example, like is a really prevalent, cancer that you can get on your scalp, and it fades your hair color as well, like being out in the sun too much too. So if you're spending money on color, whack on a hat.
Okay.
What's the most common mistake people make with their scalp health?
Ignoring things for too long and trying to home remedy it by asking groups on Facebook or, the mums at the coffee club. It's like, speak to somebody who knows.
And not washing our hair.
And not washing, yeah.
Can you over care for the scalp? We do clarifying, double cleansing, exfoliating. Is too much of a good thing bad?
That's a really good question because like the skin, right? I mean, some people have 12 different steps in their skincare routine. I think as long as you're not being counterproductive in the things that you're using things that are professionally prescribed for you, and you're not just using it for the sake of using it because you think that this is going to grow my hair or fix this problem. Make sure that you're using it for a reason.
Not too much, because I was doing clarifying shampoo.
Yeah, and again,
much.
and now we know about yeast and oils and leaving things on the hair. You don't want to be adding oils if you don't have to be because they can cause more problem.
What is the one thing or two things, if you need them, that you want UBs to take away from today?
Don't wait for anything. Like if you're noticing changes in your hair and scalp, no one knows your hair and scalp better than you. And if you're noticing changes with hair loss, scalp condition, sensitivity, feelings, don't foo-foo it away. Don't be like, well, it's just because I'm in peri. Just because, something's happened. Go and see somebody. Get real answers and act, because although we say that it's a long time for changes to happen when it comes to hair loss and things like that, if it's something sinister, things can also happen really quickly. So you want to know what's happening and making informed decisions and the best possible, putting the best things in place to correct whatever's
Because it can be a sign to more holistic health stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to give you the ultimate cheat sheet, starting off with my biggest takeaway. Now, I actually have two. I'm going to cheat. So my biggest takeaway is that I don't need to be brushing my hair all the time, and that if I am, then that's a sign that I wasn't combing it properly when I was washing it, which is another thing I've learnt about. I really should be washing my hair a lot more, and given that I wash my face twice a day and I sometimes wait a full week to wash my hair is absolutely repulsive and could be setting me up for failure long term with my scalp health.
My key takeaway is the double shampooing, because I say I do that every time, but sometimes I feel like I don't need it. And the first one I just kind of barely even rinse out. Another takeaway, I thought that we didn't go to bed with wet hair because, our mums told us we'd get sick, or it was just like not comfy to sleep on. But there's yeast and things can grow and that can smell, and it's not good. And Cass, we're obsessed. I'm sure the Ubis are too. Where can they get more of you?
So I own a clinic called Tricho Health Clinic. We are online and we have an Instagram. You can follow us at Tricho Health Clinic. And you can book an appointment, come and see me face to face, and I will help answer all of your questions.
Have a look at your own scalp under the Doppler.
Yeah, absolutely.
See you next month.
Mamma Mia acknowledges the traditional owners of the land on which we have recorded this podcast.